Hey guys, I got good news and I got bad news today. I was just reading a couple articles and I was also checking out the Forex rate. So I'll give you the good news first. Good news is the Forex rate is 50 to 1. It's a little bit more than 50 to 1 right now. So it's getting better for expats again. That's unexpected. But because I guess the Philippines took out so much loans and the vaccination thing is not going that good, that it's starting to, fall a little bit and the dollar's doing a lot better. So it's good for expats, it's good for OFWs, people like that outside the country, or people that are getting the dollar and converting it to pesos, which is excellent for me. But here's the bad news. Bad news is if you live in the Metro Manila area, it's getting more expensive. It moved up the ranks as one of the more expensive cities to live in. Manila is kind of expensive to live in. It's not cheap by any means, but it's cheaper than some cities in Western countries by a long shot. But as far as Asian cities, it's definitely moving up there for rents, things like that. If you want, even to rent a small studio, it's getting quite expensive up there in some nice areas, and it's becoming more upscale for sure in Manila. And I noticed that even during the COVID times, that Manila has moved up a lot with restaurants and things like that. I just noticed the shopping centers, they're adding more shopping centers, even though hardly anybody's out shopping up there, it seems kind of strange. But I know when they reopen, it'll be really nice to go up there and be able to go shopping at the Mall of Asia. It'll be beautiful to be able to shop and just see people not wearing masks again whenever that day comes. And I'm not sure when it's going to come, but it might be another year or so at the rate we're going over here. It's a very slow process. But anyhow, just wanted to throw that out there. The other day I went to Panda Express, right near Mall of Asia, and I had an excellent meal up there. It was the first time I've had decent Chinese food in a long time. It was the second time I've been up there in the past week and a half or so. So I went to Panda Express with my buddy when we went up to the cemetery to do that shoot about a week ago, whatever. And I went up there also with my girlfriend, and we stopped by there. I wanted to bring her there because I had to go up to the Veterans Administration for my usual routine stuff that I do there. And when we stopped there, she actually liked it. And I didn't think she'd like Chinese food, but she was really like, wow, Steve, this is really good, So, and we had a driver with us, and he comes from a poorer background, and he's an older guy. And I gave him some money. I says, here, I gave him like 1,000 pesos. I says, here, get whatever you want. He went up there and got the 3 entree meal or whatever, the big huge plate at Panda Express. And I was like watching him. It was just kind of cute watching the guy, and it was just funny because he chowed down the whole meal, which was interesting. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there and tell you guys what's going on around here. We're in the rainy season right now, so it's kind of like boring around here because we're inside a lot, but it's definitely interesting every day because some days you get a sunny day and then you get a little rain in the afternoon. Sometimes you wake up, it's raining in the morning or whatever, but always different here. I'll be glad when the dry season comes back. Because right now it's so muggy, hot, sticky, your clothes stick to you. Just kind of rough. It kind of sucks, But also, guys, I'm going to be putting out more information on the SRRVs because you guys seem to be starving for that information. And today I'm going to be putting out that video. It should be out either before or after I put this video out. Okay, this is going to be like a little extra video that I'm putting out, like a little update on what's going on over here with news and stuff like that. Also, vaccines over here are doing okay. They're getting better as far as trying to get people vaccinated over here. So for you guys waiting for the country to get vaccinated so you can get back in, because they said that they have to reach 50% or something like that. I think they'll reach the 50% probably by the end of the year, maybe sooner. I'm not sure because of the current rate that they're going. They got 40,000 somewhat. I think 40,000, no, 40, 40 million rather, vaccines coming in the door, okay? And I'm not sure how many Sinovacs they gave out, but there's not too many people taking the Sinovacs. And in actual reality, the Sinovac, none of them are good for you, but the Sinovac is probably the better one for you out of all of them, I think, because the Sinovac uses the dead COVID, to fight off the COVID if you get it. But it's only 44% or something like that. They've said that it's, it works 44% of the time. So that's the bad part about it. But it is the safer of them all, according to what I read. Now, whether that's true or not, or whether it's propaganda being put out there, who knows? But I mean, I don't know, so I can't answer to that. But I hear all these different, people putting all different types of stuff out there. It is kind of interesting to watch this thing. But I do think that we're gonna reach that 50%. The question next is, will Duterte and the government open up once we reach 50% over here, or are they gonna wait till the 70%? Because most countries wait till they hit this, get close to the 70%. I think we'll open up at 50%. I think we're gonna start opening up to vaccinated people, soon for different things. Whether we open up for the tourist visa, that's another whole story all by itself, But I just want to give you that update, I do notice this around here, that a lot more people are starting to get out shopping this past week. I noticed the roads were more filled. I noticed the restaurants up in Manila were starting to fill up. People were walking around the streets more in Manila. Whereas when I walked through some of the malls, they're still pretty empty, in some places on certain days and stuff like that. I'm not sure what it is. I know in some places we still have the quarantine stuff going on. So it's kind of interesting to watch all this stuff, and to see this. But I'm hearing rumors that by the end of this summer, or the summer in the United States, which would be probably the end of August, that we'll see some change over here with some of these visas and stuff like that. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? We're just hearing rumors just like everybody else. Now, the rumors I'm hearing are from people up above. Now, they're saying some things might open up, some of the other visas besides the tourist visas might open up even more. So that would be great. I'm not sure whether they're going to need vaccine cards to get in here, or what's going to happen with that, because they're really, really weird about that over here. So I'm seeing progress going forward, then all of a sudden I see 2 steps back. So that's the big issue over here, and the problem is this, is when are we going to see 2 steps forward and no steps back? And that's what we need to see over here in the Philippines. And I'm sure it'll happen sooner or later. We just all have to be patient. We're dealing with a different country. Philippines is usually last, unfortunately, and God bless them, because they need a miracle over here to really get this rolling soon, because it's just kind of slow over here. And I hope that they catch up to speed with the rest of the world, because, we still got quarantines over here. We still have all that stuff. For you guys back in the U.S. that don't know, we have quarantines still going on over here. We have different types of quarantines. We have ECQ, GCQ, and all this stuff, then modified GCQ, modified ECQ. So sometimes they shut us down totally as soon as there's a breakout of some sort of COVID or a uptick or something like that. We see them, kind of lock us down a little bit more, where we can't travel to other areas. So it does make life difficult if we want to go to another place, another province or something like that, because sometimes we can't go to that province because we're in a different quarantine than they are. So if you're in a lesser of a quarantine, then you could travel more freely. If you're on a higher quarantine, then you can't travel as freely. And we all still have to wear our masks. We all still have to wear our shields. I'm out here walking around right now, and I'm not close to anybody, so I don't worry too much about shields and masks right now, because I'm probably about 200 feet away from the nearest person around here, somewhere around there. Or they walk by me really quick, and they usually don't have a mask on either. Because we're walking through the park, we're outside, we're, a safe distance apart or whatever. And I don't think it's like a big deal right now anyway. I don't see any real dangers over here for the COVID like they say. I just have not seen anybody get sick from COVID, and I've only heard of a few people over here getting sick. I did hear of one problem that they had with the Sinovac vaccine over here, and that was somebody died in one of the local barangays near me, and they said that it was from the COVID vaccine. That was the news going around, through the rumor mill that the guy had died from. He had taken the vaccine a day or two before, and he was having problems afterwards, and then he died from that. So whether he died from that or not, I don't know. The guy was an older guy, so it could have been that. Could have been just, bad luck, and it was just his time to go. I don't know, But anyway, guys, I want to throw that out there, just give you FYI what's going on. We are going to start doing more SRRV stuff for you guys out there, but we're also going to keep on covering the usual. But I just thought I'd talk about that Forex thing, 50 to 1. Okay, and I want to talk about that for a couple seconds too. Is I talked to my buddy, because he was the one. He was the guy that was saying that the dollar would probably crash against the peso, but it happened to be that it was just the other way around. And he was talking to me, and he said this. He says that because of the vaccine situation, job situation, and the economy in the Philippines, that's why the dollar took off, because the dollar's, everybody's getting back to work. A lot of things that happened. The stimulus has helped out. All that stuff has kind of helped out, despite the fact that they took out loans. The Philippines has taken out more loans than they probably should have. They're going deeper into debt with all this stuff going on. So there's a lot going on over here too. I see like tax forgiveness times. They're forgiving people to pay their taxes for like 6 months or 3 months. I saw in one of the barangays. I don't know what that was about. It was just a sign I read really quick when I was rolling by. But anyway, it's a good thing, because guess what? It's 50 to 1, and it's supposed to go back to 53 maybe. That's what my friend says. He says he thinks we might go back to 50, 53 or 54, because it's rapidly rising. And he says he don't think it's going to stop. He thinks it's going to hit that 53, 54, 55 mark again, which would be really fantastic for Americans over here, because we'll be, really riding high over here as far as that goes. Now, do I think it's going to go that high? I don't know. I don't trade Forex. I just go off what he says, and he usually knows what he's talking about. He did make a mistake on the last one, so who knows? But he does make money on it. He has made money. He did go to school for that, for trading Forex. He took a course on it. So he's usually pretty good at it. He says, yeah, sometimes it's hard to predict because of all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. But he says, with what he's looking at right now, he says he thinks the Philippine peso is gonna, go lower to the dollars. So we'll get more pay, or it depends. Higher, lower, lower. So we'll get more pesos for our dollar. Because the economy over here is not doing well. It's just doing crappy. It's just kind of sad to see that. But for the people in the Philippines, it's not a good thing. And I've noticed inflation over here is also, there's having like a big uptick for prices changing and stuff, both for fruits, restaurants, supermarkets, clothing. There's a lot of inflation over here lately, and that's kind of, kicking us in the butt over here as far as expats too. So worldwide, everything's changing because of this COVID situation. And everything's kind of coming in, even in these expat countries where things are usually a lot cheaper and you can get more for your dollar and stuff like that. The only things that we really save on over here, and I tell people this, healthcare, number one, when you go to buy health insurance or you go to a doctor, it's cheaper. The other thing is rent. Rent is cheap over here too. Food, if you go to a restaurant, it's cheaper. If you buy it in the supermarket, it's either the same or in some cases more expensive for some items. So just FYI, guys. A lot of people think when they come over here, they're going to be living like really super, super cheap. Well, it's hard living over here super, super cheap, The only thing that you're going to really save on is your rent, okay? And that depends on where you are, too, in the Philippines. Because you could go to Cebu and you could be paying $300 or $400 a month, or you could be living in Cavite and get a one-bedroom studio here, nice one, and pay $65, $70, $80 or $100 for a place with a flush toilet. You just got to put an AC in. What's the problem with putting an AC in? It's cheap, So that's what I'm trying to get through people's head is when you come here, it's the rents you save on. So if you're in a high rent place back in the United States, you're going to save over here big time, So you can kind of go off what you need each month when you guys try to figure out your budgets. Like I did budgets for you guys and stuff like that. You can kind of figure out off the rents that I tell you. Now, if you guys go to Cebu or you go to Manila, Obviously, you know, Manila, you'd probably have to double what you'd spend up there because everything's going to be totally different. It's a totally different world in Manila. Rents are higher, everything's higher. So just FYI, guys, want to throw that out there. God bless, guys. Take care. Hope you enjoyed today's vlog.